So here's a few more details about the tool number 1 in my master setting tool set. This is the Bezel Roller. And let me explain to you why I designed it the way that I did. First of all, it's much shorter than you're used to, no doubt, because it's supposed to fit in the palm of your hand like this. So most people have been using a tool way too long. If the tool is like sticking out on the side, it does not fit you in the least. Like this, palm of your hand, and then it has a beautiful little curve on both sides so your thumb and your forefinger fit right there. Now, I also made it out of brass. Brass slips just a little bit less than steel. And who doesn't like a little bit less slipping? It's a plus. I also designed it to be quite wide, particularly in the beginning. You know, you miss the bullseye, so to speak. You know, it happens. That's a normal thing. So I don't want a tool that's real narrow, because if it's very narrow, then I'm much more likely to just slide off and, you know, slide down the bezel and, you know, gouge it or something. So I like mine nice and wide. Now, I don't slip nearly as much as I used to when I first started learning, but again, you know, who doesn't like having all the factors stacked in their favor? So the sweet spot, so to speak, on here that you're going to be using, I'll draw it in with a magic marker. If I could draw an even oval, it would be nice, but I can't, so here we are. It's this circle right in the center. So that's what having a wider tool does for you, is basically it gives you a wider sweet spot. That's the spot right here that we're going to be resting right up against the top edge of your bezel. So maybe I'll color it in a little bit so you can see a little better. Surprisingly, my arts and crafts skills are not very good. So you see what I mean? That's your sweet spot, which for a bezel roller, that's actually a pretty big sweet spot. So that's why having that extra width really helps, because I'm going to be positioning more or less the center of my sweet spot on the edge of my bezel. And so if I slide a little bit up a millimeter, down a millimeter over to the side, I still have plenty of contact. So it just helps you to keep from sliding around. I also have the end, not a super shiny finish. Like, I want the sides of my tool to be nice and shiny, so if I accidentally hit anything, you know, I'm just gonna leave a shiny spot. But the very end that I'm working on, I don't want that quite as shiny, and this way it, again, doesn't slide as much. So that's really the whole goal, is to try to keep you in control as much as humanly possible. The whole goal is to keep you on the top of your bezel and from sliding off, so that you can set a lot faster and have a lot less gouges and slips and dings and things to clean up, because nobody likes cleaning up that stuff. Okay, so that's your sweet spot. So just to show you a close-up of what I'm talking about, the sweet spot is this center section right here of your bezel roller. Okay, that's the spot right there that you want making contact with the top edge of your bezel. So I'm going to tilt this so hopefully you can see it right here. Now, obviously my hand would be much more wrapped around the tool, but I just want you to see that spot where they're making contact. That's where you're aiming for, not down the side of the bezel. I have actually seen that advice certain places, and I think that's crazy, because you're going to ding up your bezel, but you know, different strokes for different folks. But that's the spot you want to hit, 45 degrees and right at that top edge. Okay, so that's basically, we're laying the foundation for what we're going to do, and then we're going to do it.